In my previous life, I did not play that video at the wedding. I served as a model wife for 5 years, paving the way for Adrian and whitewashing his image. I also raised the son he had accidentally fathered with his true love, Vivian. Before my death, he walked into the ward holding Vivian and said to my son, "Call her mom. From now on, our family of 3 will never be separated again." Adrian turned to look at me, his smile cruel. "Thank you, Nora, for making her famous and raising my son. Now you can die." I died on the spot, and when I opened my eyes again, I was back at the moment of exchanging rings at the wedding. The officiant asked loudly, "Ms. Nora, do you?" I picked up the remote and pressed play. The massive LED screen at the wedding venue lit up instantly. The originally looping sweet wedding photos were replaced by a high-definition intimate video. In the footage, Adrian, the top-tier actor who was about to become my husband, was entangled naked with his true love, the popular young actress Vivian. "Adrian, are you really going to marry her?" Vivian's voice carried a sobbing tone as she weakly clung to Adrian. "By marrying her, I can get the Ching family's resources and help you secure the female lead in director Wang's movie." Adrian's voice was a gentle patience I had never heard before. "But, what about our child? He's almost 1 year old and still can't call you dad. Be good, just wait a little longer. Once I fully control the company, I'll divorce Nora. She's just a tool for paving my way, you and the child are my everything." "Adrian, you're so good." The video content was unbearable to watch, and the dialogue shattered one's worldview. The entire venue fell into dead silence. Thousands of guests, hundreds of media outlets, and countless netizens in front of live streams all saw it. My mother rolled her eyes and fainted from anger. My father rushed forward and punched Adrian in the face. "You beast! How dare you treat my daughter like this?" Adrian's agent, Linda, who had been frantically signaling me just a second ago, now had a face as pale as a ghost. She screamed and rushed backstage, "Turn it off quickly! Cut the live stream! Where are the security guards?" But the remote was in my hand. I turned up the volume. Adrian finally snapped out of his shock, his eyes bloodshot as he lunged at me, his expression ferocious as if he wanted to devour me. "Nora! You're crazy! Do you want to ruin me?" He tried to grab the remote, but was firmly blocked by the best man beside me. That was my best friend, the only one who knew about my plan. "Don't touch her." My friend's voice was cold. I looked at Adrian, the man I had loved for 2 lifetimes, and smiled. "Ruin you? Adrian, isn't this your truest self? I'm just making it public for you, you should thank me." "You lunatic. Vicious woman." Adrian struggled frantically, cursing at me loudly. Vivian also rushed out from the guest seats, wearing a pure white bridesmaid dress, crying pitifully, and knelt straight in front of me. "I'm sorry, Sister Nora. It's all my fault. Don't blame Brother Adrian." While crying, she timidly pulled Adrian's arm. "Brother, don't be angry, it's all my fault, I seduced you. Hit me, scold me. Please don't argue with Sister Nora. What a perfect white lotus." In my previous life, it was this pitiful appearance that deceived me for a full 5 years. I looked down at her condescendingly. "Get up, don't act here. Didn't you say I'm a tool? How could a tool deserve your kneeling?" My voice clearly spread throughout the hall via the microphone. Vivian's face instantly drained of color. The live stream comments had exploded. "Damn. The wedding of the century turns into the scandal of the century. The actor cheats during marriage and makes his fiancée raise the son? This woman is Vivian, right? That pure maiden? Disgusting. Sister is awesome. Well done. Hammer this adulterous pair on the spot. Nora is so calm, love it, this is the real female lead." I didn't look at them anymore, threw away the microphone, lifted the elaborate wedding dress hem, and turned to leave. Adrian roared my name. "Nora! Stop right there. Do you think you can walk out that door today?" I didn't look back. When I reached the door, I stopped, turned back, and gave him a brilliant smile. I forgot to tell you, I've sent the video to all major media, and thoughtfully attached your son's birth certificate. I wish you ruin and infamy, locked forever. After saying that, under the pursuit of countless flashes, I got into my friend's car. The car sped away, leaving that absurd farce far behind. Soothing music played in the car. I took off my high heels, tore off the veil, and sank into the soft seat. Satisfying? My friend Ethan asked while driving. It's okay. I was telling the truth, there was no imagined pleasure of revenge, only a fatigue of dust settling. Ethan looked at me through the rearview mirror. What do you plan to do next? Adrian and his family won't let it go. I know. In my previous life, the Fu family used every means to silence me. Coercion, inducement, even threatening my parents' safety. It was then that I first saw the filth beneath their glamorous exterior. Recalling how Adrian had seduced me step by step, a wave of nausea rose in my heart. We met at a cocktail party. I was the pampered little princess of the Qing family, and he was a newcomer with talent but no background. A playboy deliberately troubled me, and he stepped forward to block a drink for me. He was wearing a cheap suit at the time, but his eyes were clear and bright. He said, "Miss Nora, don't be afraid." I was deceived by that upright yet down-and-out appearance. I thought he was a breath of fresh air in a turbid world, so I defied my family and used all resources to promote him. I elevated him from an 18th-tier actor to the throne of Best Actor. Now thinking back, that Hero Saves the Beauty was just a play meticulously planned by him and Vivian. The purpose was to climb up to me, to the Qing family. A dull pain in my chest, I pressed it hard. Go to the hospital first, my mom might need emergency care. It's already arranged, Uncle is with Aunt, she'll be fine. Ethan drove into a heavily secured villa area. This is my place, stay here peacefully for now. Turn off your phone, don't contact anyone. I nodded and got out of the car. Meanwhile, at the Fu family. As soon as Adrian returned home, his father Charles slapped him to the ground. Unfilial son. You've disgraced the Fu family. Adrian's mother Margaret distrustfully helped her son up, but she was also trembling with anger. Adrian, how could you be so foolish? The internet is full of your news now, and the company's stock price has started to fall. Adrian covered his face, his eyes sinister. Dad, Mom, now is not the time to scold me. We must handle PR immediately. How to handle PR? The video is out. Ironclad evidence. Charles was so angry he picked up a teacup wanting to smash it. Just say Nora turned love into hate, forged the video to slander me. Adrian said through gritted teeth. She has a history of mental illness, we can start from there. Margaret's eyes lit up. Yes. Say she was stimulated and became mentally unstable. As long as we stick to it, the public may not believe her alone. And Vivian? Adrian looked at the woman cowering in the corner, shivering. Post on Facebook immediately, say the person in the video isn't you, it's AI face swap, you're a victim too. Vivian nodded while crying. Okay, I'll listen to you, brother Adrian. And Nora? Adrian's eyes were full of ruthlessness. We must find her immediately. Make her come out personally to clarify. Otherwise, don't blame me for not considering old feelings. He took out his phone and dialed my number. No answer. He dialed again. Still no answer. Damn it. Adrian angrily smashed his phone on the ground. Margaret walked over, patted his shoulder, her voice turning cold. Son, don't worry. She can't escape. I've already called your grandfather, he'll handle it. Upon hearing grandfather, Adrian's chaotic thoughts calmed slightly. His grandfather was a true power figure in the capital. With him stepping in, there might still be a turnaround. Margaret looked at her son and spoke slowly. That little girl from the Qing family is too naive. Does she think ruining your reputation can bring down our Fu family? She'll soon know that in the face of absolute power, so-called truth is worthless. She took out her phone and dialed a number. When the call connected, her voice carried a condescending command. "Hello, it's me. Nora should be hiding now. Use all connections to find her for me. Remember, alive." I stayed in Ethan's villa for 3 days. In those 3 days, the outside world had turned upside down. The Fu family indeed launched their strongest PR tactics. Adrian's studio statement: the circulating video is maliciously edited and synthesized using AI face-swapping technology, we have reported to the police. Ms. Nora, due to excessive pre-wedding pressure, has developed delusions and extreme behavior, we deeply regret this. Vivian tearfully at the press conference: I'm not the mistress, I'm a victim too. Renowned psychiatrist analyzes: Nora may suffer from erotomania. Troll armies flooded everywhere, public opinion reversed instantly. I went from a brave female lead who tore apart a scumbag to a mad woman who couldn't get love and turned it into hate. My family background, my past, even my experience of seeing a psychologist due to stress in university, were all dug up. The internet was full of curses against me. I said rich family heiresses are rarely normal, such strong possessiveness, destroy if can't get. Poor brother, stuck with such a lunatic. Vivian is so pitiful, dragged in for no reason. Ethan handed me the tablet, his face grim. The Fu family's PR is too powerful, they can turn black into white. I calmly looked at those unbearable comments, my heart unmoved. All this was within my expectations. In my previous life, they used this trick to drive me to a dead end. How are my parents? I was more concerned about this. Uncle and aunt are fine. Uncle Ching used connections to suppress some hot searches, but the Fu side seems to have higher-level people involved. Ethan's brows furrowed. Adrian's grandfather is a big shot in military and politics. Uncle Chang's company has had several projects halted recently, obviously the Fu family pulling strings behind. My hands on my knees slowly clenched. They were using this trick again, forcing me to submit by targeting those I cared about most. Nora, Ethan looked at me worriedly, the Fu family is too powerful, maybe, we go abroad to avoid for now. I shook my head. We can hide for a while, but not forever. Moreover, if I leave, they'll only intensify against my parents. Then what? We can't just wait to die. I looked at Ethan and suddenly smiled. Who said I'm waiting to die? I took out a USB drive from my bag. Do you remember I asked you to investigate Vivian's past? Ethan was stunned, then realized. You mean, her high school stuff? Yes. Vivian's public persona was always a grassroots actress from a poor family, hardworking and upwardly mobile. But no one knew that in high school, she was a complete delinquent. Bullying classmates, extortion, even, forcing a girl to jump off a building. It was suppressed because she was underage, and the Fu family paid off the victim's parents. In my previous life, before dying, I accidentally overheard Adrian and her conversation and learned this secret. In this life, I had Ethan investigate in advance and got all the evidence, including recordings from classmates back then and the jumping girl's diary. You want to expose this? Ethan's eyes brightened. This is explosive news. Enough to ruin Vivian forever. No. I shook my head. Exposing it now will just be seen by the Fu family as another slander from this lunatic me. I need to wait for the right timing. When they think they have the upper hand, at their most triumphant. I handed the USB to Ethan. Help me deliver this to someone. Who? Victor, the boss of Starlight Entertainment. Starlight Entertainment was the arch-rival of Adrian's company, and Victor and Adrian had long-standing grudges. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Ethan immediately understood. Okay, I'll do it right away. After Ethan left, I was alone in the villa. I turned on my phone, and countless missed calls and abusive messages flooded in. Among them, an unknown number persistently called over a dozen times. I hesitated and answered. On the other end, a dignified yet bone-chilling cold female voice came. It was Adrian's mother, Margaret. Nora, had enough fun? Her voice had no warmth. Hidden for 3 days, time to come out. What advice does Margaret have? I said faintly. Giving you 2 choices. Margaret's voice carried undeniable arrogance. 1. Immediately hold a press conference, admit the video is forged by you, apologize to Adrian and Vivian, then get out of the capital, never return. 2. I'll bankrupt your parents' company, make them spend the rest of their lives in poverty. Naked threat. Same as in the previous life. I choose the third. I chuckled lightly. What? Margaret seemed unprepared for this answer. I choose to make your Fu family pay for what you've done. Overestimating yourself. Margaret was enraged by me. Nora, don't be shameless. Do you really think you can shake the Fu family? You'll soon kneel and beg me. She hung up harshly. I put down the phone, looking out the window. The sky was about to change. Just then, my phone rang again. It was a video call request from Adrian. I rejected it. He stubbornly sent it again. I frowned and accepted. What appeared on the screen was not Adrian's face, but a little boy. He looked about 4 or 5 years old, chubby-faced, with 70% resemblance to Adrian in his brows and eyes. It was Adrian and Vivian's son, Andy. Also the child I had loved as my own for 4 years in my previous life. At this moment, he was held in Vivian's arms, shouting milkily at the camera. Bad woman. Don't bully my mom. Vivian behind him gave me a smug and malicious smile. My heart was stabbed hard. Andy. In my previous life, shortly after marrying Adrian, he brought back a swaddled infant. He told me it was a distant relative's child, parents deceased, helpless. I believed him. I named him Andy, hoping for his lifelong peace and joy. I held him, fed him milk, taught him to walk, heard him call Mom for the first time. I treated him as my own, pouring all my maternal love into him. It wasn't until before death that I learned it was all a scam. He was Adrian and Vivian's biological son. And I was just a ridiculous free nanny. Now, this child I had truly loved was looking at me with hateful eyes, calling me a bad woman. Vivian's voice came from behind the camera, coquettish yet full of boasting. Sister Nora, look how Andy protects me. Blood ties are really magical, right? Even if you raised him for 4 years, the closest person in his heart is still me, his biological mom. She deliberately emphasized biological mom. Adrian's figure appeared in the frame. He took the phone from Vivian, his face gloomy. Nora, did you see? This is my son. I originally planned to tell you after the wedding at a suitable time. It's you destroyed everything yourself. His tone was full of accusation and anger, without a trace of guilt. So, your plan was to make me a stepmom, have me raise your illegitimate child, and once you and your true love are stable, kick me away? I asked coldly. I didn't. Adrian subconsciously refuted, but his eyes dodged. I just didn't want to hurt Vivian and the child. Sounds nice. I smiled, but the smile didn't reach my eyes. Adrian, you're really a responsible good man. To not hurt the mistress and illegitimate child, you righteously hurt your fiancé. People like you really disgust me. Shut up. Adrian was poked in his sore spot, furious from shame. Nora, this is my last warning. Stop your little tricks immediately. Come out obediently and apologize. Otherwise, I'll not only target your parents' company, I'll make you lose everything. Did he think I still cared about him? Did he think I could still be threatened by him? Adrian. I said clearly, word by word. The game has just begun. Whatever you have, come at me, don't touch my parents. Too late. Adrian's expression turned ferocious. I gave you a chance. From now on, I'll let you know what regret is. He hung up. Almost simultaneously, my dad's call came in, his voice filled with unprecedented panic and fear. Nora. Something happened. Check the news quickly. Your brother was taken by the police. My brain buzzed, going blank. My brother Leo, only 19 this year, still in university. He has a simple personality, the apple of my and my parents' eyes. Adrian actually targeted him. With trembling hands, I opened the news app. A bolded social news headline jumped out. A university in the capital shocks with vicious assault case, son of renowned entrepreneur Leo stabs and severely injures classmate, suspected drug-induced hallucination. The accompanying image was my brother being escorted into a police car by 2 officers. He was in a blood-stained school uniform, his face full of confusion and fear. Impossible. My brother never fought from childhood to now, how could he stab someone? And drugs? This is definitely framing. Setup. Adrian's revenge. My blood rushed to my head in an instant, limbs cold. My chest felt gripped by an invisible hand, painful to the point of breathlessness. Adrian, how ruthless. You know my brother is my weakness, my life. In the previous life, you didn't touch my family. In this life, because of my resistance, you turned the blade on my beloved brother. My phone dropped to the ground, screen shattered. A metallic sweetness surged in my throat, I couldn't hold on anymore, my vision blackened. I didn't faint. In the second before consciousness sank into darkness, I dug my nails hard into my palm, the sharp pain instantly waking me. Can't fall. If I fall, what about my brother? I leaned on the wall, gasping heavily, steadying my swaying body. Ethan returned at some point, rushed over to support me, his face pale. Nora. Are you okay? Leo's matter. I'm fine. I interrupted him, my voice hoarse unlike my own. Adrian did it. This wasn't a question, but an affirmation. No one else but him. Ethan's fist smashed the wall, eyes red. Beast. How dare he? He dares. I slowly stood straight, the last bit of warmth in my eyes gone. He thinks this can force me to submit. What do we do now? Report to police? Or confront Fu? Useless. I shook my head. Since he dared, he must have prepared perfectly. We have no evidence. Going to argue now would be self-humiliating. Are we just letting it go? Ethan roared unwillingly. Of course not. I picked up the shattered phone from the ground, removed the SIM card, inserted a new one. Then, I dialed Victor's number. The one from Starlight Entertainment, Adrian's archenemy. Ethan had already delivered Vivian's dirt USB. Now, it was time to talk to him. The phone rang 3 times and was answered. Hello? A deep, magnetic male voice came. Victor, it's Nora. Silence on the other end for a few seconds. Miss Nora, I've been waiting for your call for a long time. Victor's voice carried a hint of amusement. The stuff you sent is very interesting. That's just an appetizer. I said directly. I want to make a deal with you. Oh? Let's hear it. I help you take down Adrian and his Jaha media, you help me rescue my brother and ensure my parents' safety. My conditions made Victor silent again. This time, longer. Long enough that I thought he'd refuse. Miss Nora, your appetite is not small. He finally spoke. Taking down Adrian is easy, but behind Jaha media is the Fu family, and behind them are people you can't afford to provoke. Why should I take this risk? Because what I have can not only ruin Vivian. I stared out the window, saying word by word. It can also doom Adrian, even the entire Fu family. What do you think gave me the courage to tear his face at the wedding? I have their Achilles heel. This was of course bluffing, my biggest card was Vivian's dirt. As for the Fu family's Achilles heel, I was still looking. But now, I had to steady Victor, make him believe I had the ability. As expected, Victor's breathing grew heavier. What Achilles heel? Can't tell you now. I seized the initiative. Victor, you just need to answer, do this deal or not. If Adrian falls, how much of Jaha Media's market share can Starlight swallow? You know better than me. This is your best chance to become the industry leader in one go. I was gambling on Victor's ambition. Light laughter came from the other end. Miss Nora, you're more interesting than I imagined. Okay. He said just one word. I'll do this deal. For your brother, I'll send the best lawyers, he'll be out safe in no more than 3 days. As for your parents, I'll send people to protect them secretly. Now, can you tell me your plan? My suspended heart finally relaxed halfway. Simple. First step, completely collapse Vivian's pure and innocent persona. Victor was highly efficient. Early the next morning, an explosive scandal broke online. An account named Forgotten Corner posted a long article detailing popular actress Vivian's high school bullying of classmates, leading to one jumping off a building. The article attached ample evidence. Recordings from classmates back then, accusing Vivian as the ringleader of campus violence. Transfer records from extorted students. The most fatal was the photocopy of the jumping girl's diary. Every stroke recorded her despair from Vivian's humiliation, beatings, isolation. She said I look ugly, like a pig, not deserving to live. She took all my pocket money, made everyone not talk to me. Today, she blocked me in the toilet, pressed my head into a bucket, I almost suffocated. I'm in so much pain, I don't want to live. If I die, will they let me go? The last page of the diary had 3 blood-red words, Vivian. This long article was like dropping a heavy bomb into a calm lake. It instantly detonated the entire internet. Marketing accounts under Starlight Entertainment, like sharks smelling blood, frantically reposted and pushed. The top hot search exploded directly. Vivian bullying, Vivian forced classmate to death, Vivian get out of entertainment. Netizens who were crying for Vivian, pitying her as framed mistress, were all dumbfounded. Public opinion underwent a shocking reversal. My God! Is this real? So vicious. Know the face but not the heart. I thought she was pure and pitiful, disgusting. No wonder Nora tore her apart, turns out she's a venomous woman. Such people should be banned. Get out of entertainment. Vivian's Facebook comments were instantly overrun by angry netizens. All kinds of curses and maledictions flooded. All her endorsements were terminated overnight. The TV drama she was shooting urgently announced a replacement. At the Fu family. Adrian looked at the news on his phone, face ashen, kicked over the coffee table. Useless. Bunch of useless. He roared at the PR team on the phone. What do I pay you for? Why can't you suppress such a big thing? Adrian, this time, it's Starlight leading the rhythm, our people can't intervene. I don't care what method. Withdraw the hot search immediately. Adrian hung up, chest heaving violently. Vivian slumped on the ground, colorless face, shaking all over. Adrian, what to do, what should I do? She cried, grabbing Adrian's pant leg. It's over, everything of mine is over. Adrian looked at her like this, a flash of disgust and irritation in his eyes. What are you crying for? Now you know fear? When you did those things, why didn't you think of consequences? For the first time, he spoke harshly to Vivian. Vivian was stunned, looking at him incredulously. Brother Adrian, you're blaming me? Who else? Adrian shook off her hand, eyes cold. Vivian, I ask you, are these things true? I. Vivian stammered, unable to speak. Adrian's heart sank bit by bit. He always thought Vivian was just a bit vain, loved to act spoiled. He didn't expect her past to be so dirty. A woman who forced a classmate to death. This stain would forever be nailed to her, and to him, Adrian. You've disappointed me too much. Adrian looked at her, saying word by word. Margaret came down from upstairs, face equally ugly. Now is not the time to pursue this. She coldly glanced at Vivian. This matter must be handled immediately. Otherwise, not only her, but you Adrian will be dragged down too. Mom, what to do then? Find a scapegoat. Margaret's eyes flashed ruthlessness. Publicly claim it's another female artist in the company competing with her, malicious rumor. Then, pay to send the jumping girl's parents abroad, make them shut up forever. Without witnesses, just those so-called recordings and diary can't sue her. But Mom, this is obviously Nora behind it. Adrian gnashed his teeth. I know. Margaret sneered. Does she think she can win like this? Too naive. She walked to Adrian, lowered her voice. Son, how's your brother's matter going? Adrian's face showed a smug cruelty. Mom, rest assured. I've had people make evidence, drug use, knife assault, multiple crimes, enough for 10 years inside. Nora now should be going crazy. I want to see if she has more cards or my methods are tougher. Adrian wanted to see me go crazy. I wouldn't. 3 days later, under the operation of Victor's top lawyer team, Leo was released innocent. The so-called witnesses and evidence were full of holes under professional questioning, collapsing. The severely injured classmate admitted taking money to act. The framing plot was exposed in court. Through the car window, I watched my brother walk out of the police station. He was thinner, pale, but eyes clear, no previous fear. Parents rushed up, hugged him tightly, the three crying together. My eyes also moistened. Adrian, your first move, wasted. I didn't go home but directly to Victor's company. Victor waited in the top-floor office. He wore a well-tailored suit, gold-rimmed glasses, looking refined, but eyes behind lenses sharp as an eagle. Miss Nora, pleasant cooperation. He personally poured me tea. Victor is polite, I should thank you. I took the teacup, got to the point. Vivian's matter is just the first step. Adrian's foundation is his status and fan base in entertainment. What we need to do is completely destroy it. What's your plan? Victor looked at me with interest. Adrian's greatest commercial value comes from his devoted and faithful, perfect persona. I put down the teacup. The wedding video just tore a gap. The public's impression now is him as a victim, deceived by the mistress. What we need is to let them see he's not deceived, he's a thorough hypocrite, selfish scumbag. How? Simple, let him destroy his own persona himself. I looked at Victor and stated my plan. That night, Adrian received a call. From his mole in Victor's company. Adrian, found out. Nora is now in Victor's villa. They seem to be cohabiting. Adrian's blood instantly rushed to his head. Nora and Victor? His archenemy? When did they get together? An indescribable anger and humiliation swept over him. He never took Victor seriously. But now, the man he despised most was living with me, his nominal wife. This was the ultimate humiliation for him. Send me the address. He hung up, grabbed car keys, and rushed out. He wanted to see with his own eyes. Confront Nora face to face, what was she trying to do? He sped all the way to the address provided by the mole. Indeed Victor's private villa. He stood outside, looking at the lit second-floor bedroom, and two shadows projected on the curtains. A man and a woman, very close, intimate gestures. Adrian's eyes instantly reddened. It was Nora. He wouldn't mistake that figure. Rage burned his last shred of reason. He rushed up madly, pounding the door. Nora! Come out! You bitch! Get out here! The door opened. It was Victor in a bathrobe, hair slightly wet, leisurely looking at the mad Adrian outside. Adrian, so late, what brings you? Where's Nora? Adrian pushed him aside, rushing in. Make her come out to see me. My wife, why should she see you? Victor blocked him, tone flat yet provocative. Wife. Adrian was stunned, then laughed maniacally. Your wife. Victor, are you brain damaged? Nora is my wife. We had the wedding. Oh? Victor raised an eyebrow. But I remember, in that wedding, the groom seemed to have an unclear relationship with another woman? Moreover, did you get the marriage certificate? Adrian's laughter stopped abruptly. Marriage certificate, because of the wedding accident, they indeed hadn't had time to get it. So legally, he and I were nothing. In the moment he was dazed, I came down from upstairs. I was also in a bathrobe, long hair loose, face with a lazy flush. I walked to Victor's side, naturally linked his arm, leaned on his shoulder. Hubby, who is it? So noisy. My voice was charming to the bone. Adrian saw our intimacy, saw me call Victor hubby, his whole body stiffened. He stared at me deadly, eyes full of shock, anger, and a trace he himself hadn't noticed, panic. Nora, you. He seemed not to recognize me. Adrian, please leave. I said lazily. I'm tired, need rest. In the future, please don't harass us husband and wife again. After saying, I tiptoed, in front of him, kissed Victor's cheek. Then, turned with Victor into the living room. The door closed mercilessly in front of Adrian. Adrian didn't know how he left. He just felt his heart like a piece dug out, empty and aching. Nora and Victor together. She called him hubby. She kissed him. That Nora who once had eyes only for him, treated him as her world, now leaned in another man's arms, smiling brightly. Why? They've known each other only days? Was her love for me fake? No, impossible. Whether someone loves you, eyes don't lie. He clearly remembered, in the past 5 years, Nora's eyes on him full of undissolvable love and admiration. But just now, her eyes on him were only cold and disgusted. Why did it become like this? Because I cheated with Vivian? But that was just casual. The one I love. Adrian's thoughts were confused for the first time. Who did he love? The weak and pitiful Vivian who aroused his protective instinct? Or Nora who was always behind him, managing everything, letting him have no worries? He always thought he loved Vivian. But why, seeing Nora with another man, did his heart hurt so much? Hurt to the point of breathlessness. 100 times, 1,000 times more painful than when the video exploded at the wedding. He drove madly on the streets like crazy, until the phone rang. It was Vivian. Brother Adrian, where did you go? I'm so scared. Her voice sobbing, as always weak. But this time Adrian felt extremely irritated. Don't bother me. For the first time, he roared impatiently, then hung up directly. In the villa. I released Victor's arm, distanced myself. Thanks, Victor, good acting. Miss Nora is polite, mutual. Victor removed glasses, rubbed his brow. But, are you sure this works? He'll believe. I looked out at the madly departing sports car, eyes cold. Adrian is extremely arrogant and selfish. He may not love me, but he absolutely can't accept his thing being touched by others. The more I act intimate with another man, the more it stimulates him, makes him lose reason. A person who loses reason is most prone to mistakes. Victor looked at me, eyes with more inquiry. You seem to know him well. After all, loved. I said faintly 3 words, turned and picked up something from the sofa. A hidden camera. Everything just happened was fully recorded. Including Adrian's mad door pounding, curses, and his devastated look after learning we cohabited. I sent the video to Ethan. Title: Top actor trespasses private residence at night, Harris's ex-fiancée and her new lover, love to hate or rage from shame? Ethan replied instantly, received. Arrange immediately. After doing this, I looked at Victor. Victor, second step, should start. What Adrian cares most, besides reputation, is money. Jaha Media is his lifeline. I want you to help me short Jaha stock. Victor's eyes finally became serious. Shorting a listed company is no small matter. Needs huge funds, and high risk. The money, I'll provide. I said calmly. All assets under my name, plus my mother's dowry, enough. Nora, you're crazy? This is gambling. If fail. I won't fail. I interrupted. Because Adrian will help us. I pushed a document to Victor. It was all of Jaha Media's investment plans for the next quarter, including an upcoming S+ level blockbuster movie. This is. Victor looked shocked. How do you have this? This was Jaha Media's top commercial secret. In previous life, no, I saw it unintentionally before. I almost slipped. Adrian trusted me, many of his files at home, never hid from me. And this S+ blockbuster is a complete scam. It's Adrian and his father Charles's tool for attracting investment and money laundering. Once the project starts, invested funds will flow into their private accounts through various channels. And the movie will ultimately fail shooting due to various reasons, ending conclusively. All investors' money will be lost. Victor looked at the file, cold sweat on forehead. If this was true, the Fu father and son were playing with fire. I want you, when their project starts, stock at highest, anonymously tip this to the Securities Commission. I looked at Victor, word by word. Cut off the source, fatal blow. Adrian's scandal exploded again. The video of him pounding door at night, harassing me, was posted online. Though processed, Victor's face unclear, but ex-fiancé's new lover words enough to spark imagination. Adrian stalker, destroy if can't get real version, a new round of opinion storm pushed him to the forefront again. His deceived victim image completely collapsed. Replaced by paranoid violent can't afford to lose labels. Jaha Media's stock fell accordingly. Adrian was overwhelmed, handling PR crisis on one side, pacifying scared investors on the other. And Vivian was completely abandoned by Margaret, directly shelved. She came crying to Adrian, but was shut out. Brother Adrian, help me. I know I was wrong. Scram. Adrian coldly spat one word through the door. Now, even seeing this woman disgusted him. His mind full of me and Victor's intimate scenes. He was going crazy. He started frantically calling me, sending messages. From initial threats and curses, to questions, to final, please. Nora, why do this to me? Are years of feelings, all fake? You and Victor, what relationship exactly? Explain to me. Nora, I was wrong, come back okay? Let's start over. I cut with Vivian, from now only you. I looked at those messages, replied none. In previous life, I was deceived by his hypocritical affection. He always, after hurting me, said soft words, gave a bit of sweetness. And I, like a tamed pet, forgave him again and again. Until finally, gnawed to no bones left. In this life, I won't be fooled again. Under my and Victor's joint shorting, Jaha's stock plummeted. Charles and Adrian, to stabilize stock, went all in, invested all funds into that S+ money laundering project. They also announced the project got overseas giant investment, bright prospects. Stock was forcibly pulled back up. Fu father and son finally breathed relief. They even opened champagne at home to celebrate, thinking crisis over. On this day, I submitted the most key evidence through Victor's channels to the Securities Commission. Next day, Jaha Media investigated for suspected financial fraud, illegal money laundering. Charles and Adrian, as legal representatives and main responsible, taken by police. News out, entire finance and entertainment circles quaked. Jaha stock crashed instantly, limit down, again, became a neglected junk stock. Countless retail investors lost everything. Fu family, done. From clouds to hell, in less than a month. I watched on TV Adrian handcuffed, escorted to police car. Hair messy, eyes vacant, no more past-spirited. Passing camera, he suddenly stopped, stared deadly at lens, as if looking at me through screen. His lips moved, silently said words. I read it. He said, why? I turned off TV. No why. All this, you deserve. Days later, Ethan came. Nora, Adrian wants to see you. In detention, his only request was to see me once. No. I refused directly. He says he has something about your parents to tell you personally. Ethan's next words changed my mind. I went. In the cold visitation room, I saw Adrian. In prison uniform, emaciated, eyes bloodshot. Seeing me, he excitedly pounced on the glass. Nora. You finally came. Speak, what's with my parents? I looked at him coldly, not wanting to say extra. My coldness stung him. He smiled self-mockingly, eyes turning venomous. Nora, you're ruthless. You want me dead that much? If I'm not well, you won't be either. He suddenly leaned close to glass, lowered voice, word by word. You know? Your parents' car accident back then, not accident. My heart sank sharply. My parents had a serious car accident when I was young. That accident made my mom lose fertility. That's why they cherished me so, and later when I couldn't conceive, still supported adopting Andy, feeling guilty. Everyone told me it was an accident. Not accident, what then? My voice trembled. Man-made. Adrian looked at me, face showing revengeful pleasure. My mom, Margaret, had people do it. Why? My brain blank, unable to think. Because your dad was her first love. Later for career, married your mom, Ching family's only daughter. She always harbored hatred. So she made that accident, wanted your parents dead together. Unexpectedly, they survived. Impossible. I screamed, lost voice. You're lying. You're lying. Whether I lie, ask your dad. Adrian leaned on chair, laughed cruelly. Ask him if his study still hides Margaret's young photos. Nora, you think taking down our Fu family makes you winner? You're wrong. You and your dad are just pawns in Margaret's revenge on Ching family. My pursuing you, marrying you, all arranged by her. She wanted you to love the enemy's son, then abandon you harshly, let you taste betrayal by loved one. Ha ha ha. He laughed madly, like a demon. I was cold all over, as if in ice cave. So that's it. From the beginning, I was a joke. My love, marriage, everything I experienced, stemmed from previous generations' grudges. I was a thoroughly manipulated puppet. Visitation ended. I walked out soullessly, sunlight glaring, but I felt no warmth. I went home. Parents in living room with Leo watching TV, family harmonious. Seeing me back, Mom smiled welcoming. Nora's back, come, Mom stewed soup for you. Looking at her loving smile, Dad's gentle gaze, tears couldn't hold, flooded down. I didn't question Dad. Everything unimportant. Let previous generations' grudges be buried with Fu family's fall. I just want my family now, well. A month later, court verdict. Charles, Margaret, Adrian, for multiple crimes, all sentenced to life imprisonment. Jiaha Media bankrupt liquidated. Vivian banned across net for bullying, reportedly later mentally ill, sent to mental hospital. All who hurt me got deserved punishment. I sold all properties and capital, took parents and brother, left this city with too much pain. We went to a warm seaside town. With funds, opened a small flower shop. Ethan and Victor visited several times. Ethan asked future plans. Victor asked if join his company, can give VP position. I refused all. I just want peaceful life. That day, I was trimming flowers in shop, wind chimes rang. A man in clean white shirt entered, handsome features, gentle temperament. He walked to me, picked up sunflowers, softly asked. Boss, may I ask, is there still room in your heart? I looked up at his bright eyes, smiled. Sunlight through glass window, shone on us, warm and bright. I know. My new life has just begun.